Want to know the real secret to getting your elopement business off the ground fast? It's not doing 20 styled shoots. It's not flying all over the country. It's just three intentionally planned styled shoots in one location that shows couples variety, expertise, and adventure. In this episode, we're breaking down exactly why the magic number 3 works, how it builds the kind of portfolio that books all-day elopements where you can charge $5,000 and above, and we're sharing how we pulled this off during our dream destination workshop in Moab, where we created 3 totally distinct elopements in the middle of the desert. It was insane, it was epic, and we can't wait to tell you everything. Welcome to Stoked, the podcast that helps adventure elopement photographers hit 6 figures and beyond in their businesses without hustling on social media. I'm your host, Megan McPhail, a former burnt-out emergency veterinarian that quit my hard-earned career to become an elopement photographer. Now I'm living a life I absolutely love, full of travel, adventure, and financial abundance, and I am hell-bent on helping you do the same. Are you ready to start booking out your calendar with dream couples in breathtaking locations and feeling genuinely stoked about your elopement photography business, life, and bank account? Then let's dive into this week's episode. Hey, it's your host, Megan McPhail.
And your co-host, Todd.
So we just got back from a magical week in Moab, and I want to take this opportunity to talk about how you really only need 3 style shoots to start booking $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 all-day elopements. And we don't have to make it more complicated than that. You don't have to have photos taken everywhere. You don't need to constantly be building your portfolio in order to book high-ticket elopements with couples that value the adventure of eloping. All you need is 3, and I'm going to explain why that is. So first of all, to book elopements, I think a lot of people think they need photos from everywhere, but couples really are just trying to find the right photographer in the location where they want to elope. So picking one location that you want to book elopements in is key to becoming an elopement photographer and then branching out from there. But I have all of my coaching students always focus on one location because it's really important to show that you understand that location, that you love that location, that you understand that location, and that you can get really cool photos there and help your couples plan the elopement day of their dreams.
So picking that one location is going to be key to get started. And so you may say, oh, well, I don't live anywhere cool. So if that's the case, pick a spot that's easy to travel to, you already know, and you can implement the vision there. But we have found that picking a spot close to you, like where you currently live, is going to make your bottom line much better because you're not have to pay for travel. And it's just easier to get to. It's going to be easier to scout and to evaluate and things like that.
Yeah. So, we've helped people build their businesses in places that you don't think are necessarily super popular because you see all the cool Moab content or Colorado or Alaska or whatever. And if you don't live in those places, that's totally okay because people are eloping in the Midwest, in Michigan, in the East Coast, and you can absolutely tap into those markets. Or you can travel, if you feel super called to book elopements in Colorado, you can choose that location. But getting those 3 style shoots are really what's going to open the door for you. And focusing on one location is also going to open the door because what I've seen over the years, and remember, I've been coaching elopement photographers for 5 years now, and I have coached hundreds of them at this point. And the ones that are just like, I travel anywhere and everywhere and do everything, it falls flat for couples because the majority of eloping couples kind of go down the traditional wedding route, decide that's not for them, find out eloping is a thing, they do their research, they figure out a place, and then they want to book an elopement photographer that serves that place. So choose a location that you love or you feel connected to or you're excited to photograph. And then all you need are these 3 styled shoots to get going. And the reason why I say 3 is because if you have one, your couples are going to notice that there's just one couple all over your website or your landing page or your social media or whatever. They're just going to notice, okay, this person doesn't really seem like an authority or an expert or knows what they're doing because they only have one couple. And if you have 2 couples, that's also pretty easy to clock. Now, I have seen people book things with 1 styled shoot or 2 styled shoots, but I truly feel 3 is the magic number, because then we're not counting couples anymore, because there's so many locations, so many different moments, different activities, all that kind of stuff. So it really just becomes like, oh, they know what they're doing. And that's what you need to have in your marketing and on your website in order to book these all-day profitable elopements with cool couples.
Yeah, and I'm trying to like think of a good example to like put ourselves in their shoes. So our oven just like crapped out. Okay. And so it's a good example, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see where this
all
is
right.
going.
So the idea is like, okay, so we're gonna get it repaired. And I'm not gonna just call the guy who just started his business and like has maybe repaired 1 oven before, right?
Mhm.
I'm not gonna drop hundreds or thousands of dollars on a guy who's done it once.
Mhm.
But yeah, maybe if he's done it 3 times, he's probably learned his lessons, like knows what he's doing now.
Yeah.
So I'd feel more comfortable doing that with someone who's like more established. And yeah, having those 3 like under your belt is going to be able to like project that authority and project that knowledge before a couple, or like in our case, us paying for an oven repair. Yeah, because we're talking like a once in a lifetime thing. Like people want to like have confidence and they want to know what they're getting.
Yeah, but to kind of expand on that, I think like a professional oven repairman is someone we would want to hire versus just a random handyman that's like, I can do anything.
Oh, right. Yeah. Like, yeah, a master of one, right?
Yeah.
Not this jack of all trades.
Yeah, so I want to talk about what these 3 styled shoots should be. And like, I know what you're thinking right now, because you hear me saying authority, an expert, and you're like, but what if I don't feel like an authority or an expert at elopements, and I have a lot of feelings of fraud or imposter syndrome and all that stuff? Well, planning these 3 styled shoots will make you feel a lot more confident in your ability to plan a couple's elopement, because these aren't just going to be 3 repeat styled shoots. These are going to be styled shoots with 3 different couples with maybe 6 different locations. With
2 per couple.
Yeah, like 2 per couple at least. And like some activities. And activities don't have to be anything crazy. It could literally just be hiking to the location, or popping champagne, or getting ready, or a first look, or jeeping. And I'm going to talk about what we did in Moab pretty soon. But like those 3 style shoots are going to give you a lot of boots on the ground, knowledge of these locations. And that's what a good elopement photographer has. This idea that elopement photographers just get booked in places they've never been and they just fly in and fly out, that's not what we're about. We're about really like understanding the landscapes and the communities and the cultures in which we photograph elopements, and appreciating them, and understanding them well enough that if the weather is bad, we have backup locations that we can help our couples with. We're participating in the local community by going to local coffee shops. We're not just flying in and flying out real quick, right? So I think that's what really makes a really great elopement photographer. So these 3 styled shoots should really include kind of what an all-day elopement encompasses. And that's different for every couple, because every couple is different. So I kind of want to go through what I created for our recent Dream Destination workshop in Moab to give you some ideas, because I created these 3 elopement days very strategically.
Yeah, and intentionally to get a wide swath of activities,
places,
views, like the whole thing, right? To be able to demonstrate, hey, I'm an elopement photographer in Moab, and like this is like my catalog of what you could do.
Yeah, exactly. So we had 10 attendees at this workshop, and every single one left feeling a lot more confident in understanding Moab as a community and a landscape, and a lot more confident that they'll be able to like have a full gallery to show future couples, to show like what do these all-day elopements look like. And also just like, because I planned them all the way I would basically like the flow is exactly how an elopement day flow would go. So now like the imposter syndrome is gone, right? So here's some ideas for you. So day 1, well, actually it was day 2, but elopement number 1, we started at an Airbnb on some private property that was within Canyonlands. And it was basically an Airbnb that I found that is chiseled into a cave. It's like chiseled into this rock. And it was basically a cave with a bed and a kitchenette and some chairs and stuff like that. And I thought this is perfect to inspire couples on where they could stay for their elopement day, because you want to stay someplace cool. You don't just want to stay at the Holiday Inn, although I have had couples do that, but like, let's stay at a glamping tent. Like, there's so many cool places in Moab. So we chose this cave. We did getting ready photos there with our couple, Laura and Ugo, and they brought their dog Pongo, which was great. And we took some detail photos, like flat lay photos, stuff like that. And then we moved on to a different part of the property that was in open shade, and it was super cool. And we did a first look with our couple. We did it 3 times so everybody could get all the photos they needed of the first look. And then we just went right into some portraits with the couple. And then we also had picked up 3 tricked out Jeeps that morning. So I asked Laura, like, which color do you like the best? We had a gray one, we had a pink one, and we had an orange one. She picked the orange one, and we took photos with the Jeep. And then we set off for our adventure, which is basically off-roading down Long Canyon Road, which doesn't allow photos, but it was a super cool experience for all of us. And it was also the shortest way for us to get to Marlboro Point, which is an amazing location. It's almost always private. It's such a great place for a ceremony. So we had their kind of little fake ceremony there with their dog Pongo. They popped some champagne, which Laura said was her favorite moment of the whole day. We had them kind of like adventure around on the cliff edges, got some really cool photos. Then the supermoon came out. So we kind of like switched gears and started taking photos with the supermoon. When the sun set, we had them do a first dance in front of the lights of their Jeep. And then we took some star photos once it got really dark. So that is like a whole cool elopement day. And that's like an example of the types of style shoots I want you guys to imagine and create, so that your ideal couples, when they find you, are like, oh my gosh, this is the elopement day that I want. Because honestly, so many of my elopements are basically redos. You know, like somebody saw an elopement that I photographed in the past and they wanted that exact thing, because the people who are spending a lot of money on elopements, they want to know exactly what they're going to get. They want to know exactly what the product is at the end of it and the service and stuff like that. So you'd be surprised how many couples really aren't, I mean, elopements alone are kind of outside the box, but they will just be like, yes, this is what I want, and kind of show you a past elopement that you photographed.
And before we dive into the next 2, I'm going to kind of interject here and be like, oh, that's well and great. Like, you're putting on this workshop, right? You have lots of attendees. You have the funds to like fund this extravagant elopement. And that is true, right? So that was built on purpose, but it doesn't have to be that extravagant for your style shoot. It can be as simple as, a bottle of champagne or a couple beers, something just like that you have in your fridge already. Like, you can go to Trader Joe's and get some flowers and like basically create something yourself for much cheaper, but still like to get the vibe. Or like in our case, right, we kind of went big and we were able to put on this really cool and extravagant thing. And it can be a mix, right? If you're going to do 3, like obviously maybe you don't want to do 3 extravagant high cost styled shoots, but you can maybe mix it in, mix a cheap one in, mix an extravagant one and one average one, right? So like, I mean, you can pull off a styled shoot for a couple $100. It doesn't have to be this grandiose thing that's going to break the bank to get started.
Yeah, and it'll always give you an amazing return on investment if you do it strategically, you know, if you do it with intention and you do it really with like, okay, these are the things I want to photograph. I don't give a crap about Jeeping, you know, so don't include Jeeps. There's no rules to this. And I want you to do the things that you want to photograph in the future. That's really the key here. So like when I created these 3 elopement days for our workshop, it was really like things I wanted to photograph, which is the perfect segue into day 2, because a few years ago, Todd and I skydived in Moab and it was amazing. And I just think it's the best it would be the best way to start your elopement day by skydiving. You can do it in the morning. You can do it before you really get ready and put on, your bridal attire and all that kind of stuff. And so I didn't know if we could make it happen, but Todd contacted Skydive Moab and they were like, yeah, we can totally make this work with your group. And then I just had to find a couple that were willing to do it, which was Maddie and Isaac. And they got some cute sweatsuits. Maddie got a white one. Isaac got a black one. We started our day with them skydiving. And we were able to take photos of them getting ready, getting on the plane, and then landing with the parachutes. And we also got all their video and photography coverage from the GoPros in the air, which was super cool. So this was something that I've always wanted to recommend to couples. I really think it's amazing. Maddie said it was her favorite part of the day. So we started the day with skydiving, and then we took a little break. Maddie got ready. She got her hair done in a different way, put on her wedding dress. Same with Isaac. He put on his suit. And then we hiked to Corona Arch and we just played around in the rocks and they popped champagne. They drank some beers. They ate some Cheetos, It really felt like them. We had a cute little first look. We got photos of them climbing up ladders. They said their vows and had their ceremony on a little rocky outcropping. That was really cool. And then we finished up by taking photos underneath Corona Arch and saw a beautiful sunset. It was awesome. So that was another way to just incorporate more activities and more locations for a second elopement day. And then the third elopement day, I really wanted to include horses because I love horses. I love all animals. If you don't know me, we currently have 46 chickens.
4 cats and 2 dogs.
Yeah. We're getting geese in the spring, and I foster kittens and dogs. And I think all of my life dreams right now involve getting more animals and rescuing more animals and fostering more animals. And Todd's supportive of that. So I wanted to include horses. We found an amazing ranch in Castle Valley that was Todd reached out to them, thank goodness, because I hate calling people and writing emails and all that stuff. So Todd did a lot of the legwork and we got permission to hang out with 2 horses. Our couples were able to ride them around. We took photos with them. We did a ceremony with them. But earlier in the day, we were in a completely different location called Looking Glass Arch. And that was really fun because we were able to get getting ready photos there and a first look. And we had them climb into Looking Glass Arch, which Madison said, so this is Madison and Elliot, and Madison said that was one of her favorite parts of the day because it was like a triumph, her being able to climb into this arch. And so that was another way that we incorporated more activities, more locations, a different couple, different flowers, different wedding dresses, all that kind of stuff, a different ceremony, different vibes. So now looking back on these 3 days, we have so much content. We took these attendees all over Moab. They understand Moab and how big it is and how many options there are as far as locations and activities. They feel confident. They feel excited to book more things in Moab. And why the hell wouldn't you book an all-day or sunrise to sunset or multi-day elopement in Moab when there are so many things to do and so many places to visit?
Yeah, it was great workshop. 3 really good styled shoots. We had 3 amazing couples, and the participants or the attendees for the workshop were amazing. They got some awesome photos. We've already seen sneak peeks and stuff of them posting stuff. So all in all, it was really good. We did forget to mention putting on styled shoots will also allow you to connect with vendors. So we use the same florist for all 3 styled shoots, but now these attendees can definitely recommend oh yeah, I know a florist in Moab.
Mm-hmm.
I worked with Tony XYZ times. So being able to have that working knowledge of who else works there is super important, right? Yeah, so now they have worked with these other vendors in the area so they can recommend them to their couples. And again, it kind of flex that authority muscle of Moab because they now know a lot of different people there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's also the line you kind of have to walk when you are doing styled shoots on your own. Do I just get my flowers from Trader Joe's? Or do I hire a florist so that we can be buddies, And I know the experience of working with her, and I can recommend Tangled Sage, And do I have my couple, if a woman is involved, do her own hair and makeup? Or do I hire backcountry brides to come in and do a braided ponytail that still look great after falling from 13,000 feet in the air? Now you have to kind of like walk that line of, do I pay for these vendors for my styled shoots, or do I do it the cheap way? And that's totally up to you. I think either way, you will get a return on investment. Another important thing to me with these styled shoots was not to over style them, because I think a lot of couples that elope, they're pretty simple. They don't always want a bunch of pomp and circumstance. They really put a lot of their investment into the photography and the experience, but they'll sometimes get a $100 dress from Lulu's and do their own hair and makeup. And I've had lots of brides who've made their own bouquets, So like, it kind of depends on who you're trying to attract. And couples who are willing to spend $8,000 on an elopement might surprise you in how they don't give a crap about flowers. They don't give a crap about getting an expensive wedding dress. Like, they're really here to put their money into the experience. So don't think you need to overly style these styled shoots either. But it was really important to me to not only get fun photos of the couples in really beautiful locations within Moab, but to get those activities, because I'd love to book more jeeping, more skydiving, more horse elopements, So that was kind of selfish on my part. But what Todd said, now these attendees know, like, yeah, we should go to Howard Ranch because they're awesome. And the ranch hand, or like the wrangler was named Slowhand, and he was great. And the horses were so chill and like, yeah, let's do it. They have more confidence and experience, and you don't have to go to a workshop to gain this. You can do it yourself, but like, find couples that are real and in love, and that you can give them an amazing day, because that was also something I told the attendees, was like, we are here to get you guys the photos you need to market yourselves and get booked in Moab at high prices. But our priority today is making sure these couples have the best time ever, because that's our priority on elopement days. So we're not going to be elbowing each other for shots. We're not going to be barking orders. There's going to be downtime so they can relax and take it in. And every single couple had the best day ever. And that's also what I want you to focus on when doing these styled shoots, because the best photos come from couples that are having the best time.
Yeah, and I'll close with, so again, these ones were like very well scripted. Megan and I have like planned lots of retreats, lots of styled shoots. So like, again, these were over the top, and don't think that your very first one needs to be over the top and spend a bunch. My very first styled shoot that I like put together to gain this experience was some of my friends. I bought a Lulu's dress for like $100. We found some open space so I didn't have to find a permit, and we just did it. Like, we bought flowers from the grocery store. Literally, I like was assembling flowers myself from Smith's. And
I didn't know that part.
Yeah, like, it can be as simple as can be, and it can still be
one of the 3 that books you the elopements you want.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
So we got amazing feedback from the attendees in Moab. I posted a bunch of their reviews on my Instagram at Megan McPhail. You can check them out. But we're also in 2026, we have 3 workshops coming up. If you want to join us, again, you can absolutely do these 3 styled shoots by yourself. Okay, you don't have to come with us. But if you want to, and you want to hang out, and you want to experience what an all-day elopement looks and feels like, and have us kind of handling all the logistics and making sure that's awesome, we are doing our dream destination workshops in Alaska, in Iceland, and in Switzerland. And we're super stoked. There's going to be a helicopter ride in Alaska, and in Iceland. We're going to be off-roading into Thor's Canyon and Switzerland. I think we should find a couple that wants to go parasailing.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. And we'll also be hanging out with cows because that was one of my favorite parts of Switzerland. But yeah, so we'll post in the show notes how to apply and more information about those workshops. And we would love for you to join us if you want to have fun with us. But also just remember, it's just those 3 style shoots. That's all you need to start booking things. So keep that in mind. Pick a location, do those 3 style shoots. You also need the marketing strategy that goes along with that, which typically involves Google Ads. But you can absolutely get booked in your dream destinations with just 3 style shoots.
See you next week.
Bye. Thanks so much for joining us on this week's episode of Stoked. If you enjoyed the show and you'd like to help support the podcast, please subscribe, leave a review, and tell a friend. If you're looking for more inspiring elopement photography content, check us out on Instagram at Megan McPhail. And if you'd like to hear more about my business coaching and how I can personally help you hit 6 figures as an elopement photographer, then check out my website at www.meganmcphail.com.